We've talked on the YouTube channel about Lost Planet in the past, guys, the past of Lost Planet, and as well as the future, guys. And we're going to be talking more about the future here in this first segment of the show. You guys can check out all of the content, guys, based around Lost Planet as a franchise. Many videos here on the YouTube channel that you guys can check out around Lost Planet and Lost Planet 4 in particular. And this segment, like I said, guys, I wanted to talk more so about the future of Lost Planet, that being Lost Planet 4 and the unknowns here. Obviously, we have no confirmation that Lost Planet 4 will ever see the light of day. As far as we know it as of right this moment, it's in a limbo state. I'm not sure if it's something that they're planning on bringing back to life at some point, because obviously the first two games were really great. The third one was a little bit of a misstep, and so hopefully we get that fourth game, guys, in this franchise. I'm absolutely hoping for it. And some of the things that I want, guys, are, as follows. And when I say, guys, that this is everything that we want out of Lost Planet 4, I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. I want to know, though, what you guys want to see in Lost Planet 4 in the comment section down below. So at number one, guys, I want to see a more expansive universe here with Lost Planet 4. I think a soft reboot potentially would be something that could be, special for this franchise. Maybe, not necessarily like picking up right where Lost Planet 3 left off, but maybe doing it more in a soft reboot type of mentality here, moving into the next generation hardware, that being like the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. I think the graphics and such could really do well, especially with Lost Planet as a franchise here. I think it could look really good on the next generation consoles. So for me, guys, I want a more expansive universe. What I'm getting at is, in particular, I'd love to see a semi-open world to a full open world of Lost Planet, really having that ability to explore everything that's around you and having things along the way that you can do. So along the journey, guys, there's other things that you can do along the way that kind of, helps you at least, put more time into the game at the end of the day. And I think as a player of the first three games, I would like to see, a continuation here. But also, even more than all of that, even more than just having that expansive universe, I think having things along that journey that you're able to do. And that being, also coming in contact with new characters, new enemies, new locations. I think all of those things are really going to help Lost Planet 4 as a whole. I think it's important with any franchise, guys, whether you're talking a soft reboot or you're doing the continuation, I think it's important that you see characters that are familiar, enemies that are familiar, and locations that are familiar, but also having differences so that it kind of sets it apart from the other games. Maybe even if that means taking some chances here. I think Lost Planet could be one of those games that you take some chances with, and I would be totally down to see that. I've said this in the past, guys, that Lost Planet to me is a kid-friendly Gears of War title. And so, Gears of War being more adult-oriented because of the gore and things of that nature, Lost Planet was a little bit more lighthearted, right? And it was still had a lot of action and fun action, but it was kind of more for everyone. And so I think that they could really take that into, take the next step with that and kind of really base this entire game around pretty much being accessible to anyone out there, any type of gamer out there. So like I said, guys, new enemies, new locations, and then, of course, new characters at the end of the day, I think is going to really help the story as a whole as well. Having some new weaponry would be great. Some new types of, transportation, whether we're talking mechs or, different vehicles and such, to really traverse the world and get around. I think that might be something that they could potentially do here with Lost Planet 4. Also, guys, the one thing about Lost Planet, it always felt like it was played in the snow, always snowy elements and stuff, and I have no problem with that. However, when I said I wanted new locations and new environments, I think having some snow locations where it kind of feels familiar, but also having other places that you're exploring. And I know, guys, that with Lost Planet, it's not always snowy, but primarily, for the most part, in those other games, in the first 3 games, it was a lot of snow maps and snow missions. And so what I'm getting at is having a variety. I think it could really do well. Think about the jungles and the different areas like cities and such that you can go into. I think that would be something really special. And I think that, as a universe, there's so much to explore. And that's why I think open world would be really great for this franchise. Also, guys, I think that this is a franchise that is primed for multiplayer experiences and an expansion on that. So what I'm getting at, guys, is after you beat the campaign, you want new ways in which you can connect with the franchise. And I think that with Lost Planet, having multiplayer experiences would be really great, and having expanded, multiplayer experiences and co-op experiences where you can play with your friends if you choose to. Whether you want to play by yourself, you want to play with your friends, or you just want to play with other people online, I think that's another great way in which you can absolutely build this universe. And speaking of Gears of War, guys, how this is the kid-friendly Gears of War, I think having co-op game modes like Horde mode in Gears of War, where you're going up against waves and waves of enemies. I think Lost Planet could do something similar to that, where you're going up against waves and waves of enemies, and I think that would be a lot of fun at the end of the day. But like I said, guys, having more and more co-op modes, even some creativity on their end to add some modes, would be really great, I think. And I really, guys, one of the big things I want is I just want Lost Planet to have another chance. Let's just see what happens with the Lost Planet 4. Look, if it doesn't do that well, obviously they'll probably be done with the series for forever, but I think that we should at least they should take a chance on it and just see how it does with the next generation of consoles, especially if you're doing a soft reboot here. And that leads me in the next thing, guys, which is a free-to-play, motto here for Lost Planet 4. Now, most likely, we're not going to see a free-to-play Lost Planet game, but what I'm getting at is, if it's a free-to-play game with all the other, the landscape here of gaming, you see so many AAA titles that are free-to-play now, or at least have aspects that are free-to-play, I think Lost Planet could absolutely be one of those games that could do really well. People would at least check it out, which would get people to stream it, which would get people to talk about it, which would get content creators to create content around that game. And so what I'm getting at is it could really help build the fan base, bring a lot of those people back to the franchise, and then it could build upon that fan base that it's already built, because it already has an infrastructure, is there with the first 3 games. I think this could just help elevate that if they were to go free to play. Most likely, though, guys, they probably wouldn't go free to play. I'm just saying that because I think that would be really cool, and I think it would help the universe and the game as a whole, the franchise, grow to new heights. But those are the things, guys, that I would really like to see in Lost Planet 4. And I mean, we could talk ad nauseum about other customizable items and having different ways in which you can connect with the franchise. Big things to me, guys, when we talk about multiplayer are those customizable options, as well as being able to have earnable items, things that you can earn within the game that show the time that you've put into the game. When you're in an in-game lobby and everybody else is in there, they can see what you've done as far as your titles and your emblems, and all of those things help bring you back to the game to continue putting in the grind and that effort. Seeing, as you rank up and things of that nature, I think Lost Planet 4 could really take advantage of ways like that, being a third-person shooter. But, guys, these are the things that I would like to see in Lost Planet 4. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys want to see in Lost Planet 4? Let me know, guys. And for more Lost Planet 4 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.